What's up, everybody? Just getting all the victims lined up for tonight's ribbing, because you know they're going to get roasted, toasted, and told about themselves. Welcome to What the Fuck Wednesday on Thursday. I had a late meeting yesterday, and so that just was not happening. I didn't get back home until after 7. So luckily I had thought about it and went on my phone and changed the show to today. So here we go. Now, I was thinking about doing, we have our Friday night ladies, spill the tea kind of shows every so often. But tomorrow is Cinco de Mayo. And I don't know where, about y'all, but here in California, especially here in the Bay Area, everybody parties. You don't have to even know how to spell anything Latino or Mexican or any other thing, but we all use that as an excuse to drink margaritas and tequila and act a fool. So that's what I'll be doing tomorrow. So no show tomorrow, but I will try to get it scheduled for Saturday or Sunday, which you guys, kind of figure which one would you work better for you, Sunday or Saturday? Just type it in the thing there, and then I'll look at them after the show and figure out when to schedule, because I haven't done it yet. I made the graphic, but then I remembered that, it's like it's party time. So sorry, I can't be here. I can't do that. It comes around once a year. I got to get my margarita on. So anyway, let's get started with our show tonight. We got 25 questions as usual. If you wrote your question in, be sure to listen for it and look in the chat also, so that you can, see if they have anything to add to what I'm saying or a different perspective altogether. So be sure to check out the chat as well as listen, and then vote in the chat room on YouTube if you want to have the tea spilling show on Saturday, evening, or on Sunday. So you put Saturday and Sunday in there, and I'll take a vote. I'll tally them up, and that's your vote. Okay, here we go. 25 questions. Here's question number 1. This is a young man in the 22 to 27 age group from the U.S. Summary of the issue: my fiance is terrible with money and is driving me crazy. Hi, Deb. I happened to randomly catch one of your shows on Twitch a few weeks ago and thought you would be able to help me. My fiance is terrible with money, and it really pisses me off. She insists that we spend money on stupid stuff that we don't need. For example, recently she made me go half with her on patio furniture, which I didn't even really want, and wouldn't stop complaining until I agreed. Made me. The most recent debacle that has me mad beyond means is that she called me asking in a very demanding way that I loan her money to purchase Taylor Swift tickets from some person she found online. I say it's a bad idea, likely a scam, and that we should be saving money for our honeymoon, but so far I'm the only one who has saved anything for it. She then gets mad at me, and I give her the money to avoid an argument. It did turn out to be a scam. Of course it was. It angers me even more that it seems like things like the honeymoon are on the back burner in her mind, apparently, while selfish things like Taylor Swift concert take priority spending-wise. I guess I'm looking for advice on how to deal with this. Is there something I can do to stop her from being terrible with money? Yes, you can grow a spine and some nuts. That's what you can do. What you can do next time she comes whining about some money, you need to be like, turn black on her. Yeah, I don't know. We don't know what you are, but the very way that you're acting, it kind of leads me to believe that you're not. But I'm going to say this, you need to turn black like my daddy. And she starts talking about, well, I want some patio furniture. And you turn to her like my daddy used to do us and say, do you got some patio furniture money? And then you turn back. And then she'll be sitting there looking at you. Because he used to wear us out with that. Daddy wants some McDonald's. I want a toy. I want you got some McDonald's money? And he would always do his head like that to emphasize what he was saying. And so, you don't have no McDonald's money. You don't have no toy money neither. He was trying to spend his money. And he was just very clear that was not about to happen because he wasn't about that life. So you need to be like that too with your lady. You know what I mean? Leandra. Yeah. You got some patio furniture money? I'm trying to tell you. And she don't have nothing to say, well, don't look like you're going to be having no patio furniture. You better go down to Walmart and get you some of them plastic crates and put a cushion on it and sit your ass down somewhere. You know what I mean? They sell them little cheap cookies. You get like, I don't know, 4 in a package. That's what you do. She can get 4 of them plastic milk crates, put them little cushions on there and sit down. Because unless she's real tall, that should work. I'm going to say this, though, dude. Stop saving money it's fine to save money. Make sure she doesn't have access to any of your accounts. Start closing this financial door. And I'm sure you will notice that, this marriage that you thought you was going to have and her interest in you is going to drive right up. Because she doesn't have the attitude of somebody who's trying to get married to you. So that was you're going about this all wrong and you're looking at this all wrong. You're caught up in her. And for her, it just seemed like you're kind of a convenience. The fact that she throws all these temper tantrums to manipulate you into getting what she wants out of you and you let her do it, that's not a good sign. And don't you think once you got married and your income became community property, that it would just go downhill from there? You need to wise up, sir. Question number 2, this is a young man in the 22 to 27 age group from the U.S. He says, summary of issue. Now, but the payment, well, they're how we met stories that involve them having been already involved in a relationship with someone else. Somehow I felt that something was left out of the conversation, though. But for one, a guy met a woman doing volunteering. She was engaged to someone else, but he asked her to coffee anyway on their last day of volunteering. He asked to buy her a drink, and long story short, she dumped the guy that she was engaged to and dates and marries him as now his 20-plus year wife. Even funnier, the man telling the story was overheard by a person who was a victim of being dumped for the very same situation and didn't find it funny or positive at all. While others were like, "Oh, that said, I guess it's all immaterial if they wound up married." I'm taking a wild guess, but whoever they dumped for the now spouse, I'm guessing this was some kind of mediocre relationship, at least on their side. If you want a movie comparison, Crocodile Dundee, she was engaged, but Mick Dundee really did it for her. Yeah, I remember that. Same thing with Susan Lucci. Remember the lady who started All My Children for all them years? That's how she met her husband. She was engaged to somebody else. Met her husband while looking at, food for engagement. Going out for engagement dinner with her parents or something. And met dude, and that was that. But, her husband married somebody else, and he's really happy with, her fiance, rather. Married somebody else, and he's really happy with her. And they actually get together and go out for foursome dates and stuff, like the two couples of friends. So I'm like, whatever. So then he says, my question is, how do you see this? Is this ethical? Some may respond that, well, if she did this to you, she'll do it to someone else. Or this is pretty close to monkey branching. Or that it verges on cheating. Or is it really cheating? That is the question. Rating your response. Oh, my God. Why are you making my brain work and I don't even have no wine? This is horrible. Okay, let me say, yeah. Ethical. Yes, it is. Let me tell you why. You are single until the day and the time and the moment that you say, I do. This is something I have been saying on this channel and then throughout my life for more than 30 years. You're not married. It doesn't matter if you have a ring on your finger, an engagement ring. It doesn't matter if you're walking down the aisle in the church. to go, and there's a pastor and everybody up there. You walking down the aisle. Remember that Runaway Bride, how she made that U-turn and jetted? She went into that church single and she left single. And that's the same thing these people did. They were single when they met this other person. They gave that person that ring back, and then they went on and married the person that they really should have been with in the first place. So, the fact that the marriage is happy for 20, 30, 40 years shows that they made the right choice. Now, the person who got left behind might be mad. Of course, they're going to be hurt and upset because, their feelings are involved. But the real deal is, if that person, anybody that you with, feels like you're not the right person for them, that means that you're not. And so that's the point from which you start your healing. You don't go reaching back into land of what woulda, coulda, shoulda, and how you used to feel, and we've been together all these years, and you leave all that. That's irrelevant. You start from the moment when they give you their ring back or tell you it's over, and they go and get with someone else. It's better to me to have a broken engagement than a divorce. Then you got kids involved and property divide up, and you went into all this debt over a wedding, and just it's a whole big deal. If it's not going to work out, it's better that it not work out before you do all that than after. So, I don't have a problem with it personally. I just think, some people are braver than others. I think a lot of people know that they're marrying the wrong person. Most women say that they knew that they were making a mistake, but they did it anyway because they felt social pressure. They'd already spent the money. All the guests were there. They were too afraid of disappointing people. They were afraid of what people would say. And they end up getting a divorce anyway. But to me, it just would have been better to have the courage to just say, I thought this was really a good thing to do, but I've realized in retrospect, it's not. I've met someone else who really does it for me. And so now that I see what it's like to be really, really in love, I'm going to leave you alone because it wouldn't be fair to you or me for us to go through with the sham of a marriage. I was sitting up there thinking about some other man or the dude. I'm sitting up there thinking about some other woman, but you married to me? That's horrible to do to somebody. So everybody who, is in that situation should have the courage to stand up for themselves and admit that they've changed their mind, And yeah, it's going to be emotions. Like I said, it's going to be, people going to be screaming, crying, acting a fool. But you know what? That lasts a week, maybe. And then they'll be okay. They start getting over it. So that's my summation, young man. I think it's a good thing if people recognize it. You probably don't, but I do. She had a liberation party. Well, people, they be like, they break up and they still have barely paid for their honeymoon. So one of them, goes on the honeymoon with friends or whatever by themselves. I wouldn't care. Bring their mother, whatever. Question number 3. This is a young man in the 22 to 27 age group. He's from the UK. He says, summary of issue. How do you lower your standards? Hi, Deb and ladies. I was hoping you would be able to give me some advice about a problem I have. Basically, I find it really hard to find people that I'm attracted to. And when I do, they don't seem to feel the same way. As a result, I've been single for a very long time. Basically, it seems like I'm attracted to people out of my league, and I need to lower my standards. I was wondering if you had any tips on how you actually do that, though. The big problem with the lower your standards advice is that you need to be attracted to someone in order to have a romantic relationship with them. I don't see how dating people you're not attracted to is an option. You need to find someone attractive to fall in love with them. So I guess the question I'm asking is if there's any way you can get yourself to find more people attractive. The only thing I can think of is to stop using popcorn, which I think unconsciously raises your standards of physical beauty. But I've already done that and I haven't used it for a year, almost 2. In terms of the kind of woman that I find attractive, I think there are 4 main things. Number 1, someone being a nice person. Number 2, having similar values and interests. Number 3, I find attractive physically. And number 4, something else that is hard to put your finger on. Something about their manner and their way of carrying themselves that you find attractive. Chemistry, maybe? Any advice would be appreciated. Okay, let's circle back to this, you little idiot. First of all, you talk about, you got to find somebody attractive. Like I've always said, ladies, young men are stupid and they pick a woman with their dick. That's what they do. If they get tingles in their pants, then that's the one for them. Don't matter how stupid she is, how just uneducated, combative, how much bad attitude they don't care about that. As long as she looks a certain way and makes their dick hard, that's what they're looking for. Okay, so now let's circle back to you. You say that I want attractive, this and that. But when you started listing off the 4 things that you wanted, did you notice that physical attraction was way down on your list, number 3? You put in internal qualities as the most important 2 things. Someone who's a nice person and someone who has similar values and interests. Okay, now starting from that point, you little D, you could find any kind of woman who looks, as long as you're not like repulsed by her, like she's okay. She's a pretty girl, but she's maybe not like the hotness that you imagine that yourself is going to be with. And you talk to her and you go out with her and you go out with her a couple of times. You get to know her, you talk to her on the phone. That's how you fall in love. But if you really are looking for these kind of traits in a person, you're not going to see them by just looking at her ass walking down the street. You're an idiot if you think that. That's not how you pick a woman. You're talking about you want something serious and you've been single for so long and all this old stuff. You have to use your head, use your big head, you fool. You pick a woman, you focus on these things that you put first on your list, the things that obviously are the most important to you because you listed them first. And so you think you meet a woman and she's a nice woman. Well, maybe she's not a perfect looking woman. Maybe she's a little too skinny. She's a little too fat. She's a little too tall. She's a little too short. I don't know. She might be a different race than you used to. I mean, I don't know what, because you didn't really go into too much about what your quote standards are. But I don't consider stuff like that lowering your standards. Those kinds of things, lowering your standards would be getting with some bitch just because she's cute. Lowering your standard would be somebody who doesn't have similar values and interests, and you tolerate her nonsense just because she looks good. That's lowering your standards. Men have it flipped. So these are your standards right here. This is what you really want. This is what your heart wants. So focus on that and put your eyes aside for a minute and start looking at a woman to look deeper. What is she going to bring to your life? Because, looks is not what makes you really happy long term, because looks fade. You going to look different, and so is she. So if you're going to be focusing solely on that, that's because your key criteria, you're going to be sorely disappointed. Your relationships are not going to work out, and you just, you're going to continue to be single. You have to look deeper, young man. You got to look deeper. That's what's going to make you want to be with somebody. And that when you walk into the house, your heart feels connected to them. When you think about them, you get choked up because they understand you so well. Your communication is so well. They're so supportive and encouraging of you. You can't imagine living your life without them there because they're like your A to your B. So, you have to think about that kind of stuff. That's how you pick a wife and a girlfriend. You don't pick her still solely on how she looks, not at your age. That's some teenager shit. You're a young man now, looking at, you could be married and be a father and stuff in a year or two. So get your shit together. Question number 4. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group from the U.S. Summary of issue. Am I overreacting to an unsolicited D pic? Ooh. Yeah. He wasn't dating out of his league. He wasn't dating, period. Out of his league or not. He hasn't been dating. You must have missed that part. I'm talking to this guy for about a month maybe and haven't met him yet or talked on the phone. So how are you talking to him? Texting? Things were going well when he said he was in bed horny. Oh boy. And sent me a live D pic on Snap. And I told him that wasn't cool because I don't like unsolicited pics of anything. I didn't say I was in the mood for all of that or that I wanted anything, eggplanty. Then I told him that I lost interest in getting to know him because of that. Was I going too far? Should I let it pass this time or just cut it off completely? I don't mind chatting with him. I'm still just kind of put off because of it. What are your thoughts? Queens, carry yourself like a queen. Would a queen tolerate such nonsense? It would be off with his head. So, I mean, in this case, his little head, but whatever. I am constantly on women to have boundaries and to stick to them. Now, see, you had a boundary when you said, you didn't want to continue to get to know him, but now you're questioning it and you're willing to go back on it because you enjoy chatting with him. Now, if you go back after having told him that what he did was inappropriate And to the point it insulted you to the point where you don't want to deal with him anymore, but you turn around and you go back and start talking to him again. What have you just taught that man? Just think about it. What have you just taught that man? You have taught that man that you don't mean shit you say, that he can treat you any old kind of way and you still gonna be there, and that he can continue to talk to you and enjoy your company and everything, no matter how disrespectful he is. That's what you're teaching him if you go back to this. If you were going to just do that, then you should have never said anything and just tittered and giggled like most women do and continue interacting with some disrespectful fool like that. But you stood up for yourself. You made a line in the sand, and then you told him that he had crossed it. But now you want, maybe I went too far. You girls kill me with this. Have a fucking spine, why don't you? Stop letting men run you. Are you that desperate for male companionship that you just gonna be letting some dude treat you like this? Man, you good. I wouldn't even have said shit to him. I just would have just hung up and blocked him, because they already know these guys are not just born this morning. They already know when they do something like that, it's going to have one of two responses. The woman is going to be offended but still talk to him, or the woman's going to be offended and then she's going to go away. But that's not what most of you do. Most of you just deal with it. You give them a lecture and you talk to them about how you don't like it and all sorts of stuff here. They already knew that when they sent it, but they got their jollies from sending it to you and you getting your reaction. And you just so stupid. You just stay on the phone or keep texting them, keep talking to them, keep calling them, continue the Zoom call. You continue to give him the benefit of your company, your companionship, and your conversation, your energy, no matter how he disrespects you. More young women need to understand when dudes do stuff like that, they are fucking weirdos and perverts, and he's not trying to get to know you as a human being. You are merely somebody on the end of the phone or the other side of the camera for him to get his jollies off, okay? He's doing that for free when he should be out there paying somebody. There's people in that line of work. That's what he should be doing. But instead, you letting them just set you up and use you for free. At least it's to direct him to somebody's OnlyFans so he can pay some money. Somebody could get some money out of his ass. But you don't even do that. I wish a motherfucker would send me a DP so I could act a complete fool. The only time I remember getting one, I was on AOL. But I clown that dude so it's some white dude. He sent me this picture, this little mushroom cap thing. And I looked at it. I said, well, where's the rest of it? And then he logged off. So, I guess he thought I was going to be excited by that. I'm like, dude, brothers be like 3 times that size. I don't know what you got, but that ain't really impressive. Just where is the rest of it? I know. So, I just don't take kindly to fool. Yeah, it just looked like a mushroom cap to me. And I guess he was proud of that little thing. So I'm like, wow. I don't even know what to say. Question number 5. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group. She's from Canada. Summary issue. He blames me for his marriage ending. Why isn't he holding himself accountable for his choices? I was involved with a married man for almost 5 years. Okay. I told him up front I wouldn't even ever come over to his place until he was officially separated. Well, he lied about that. Later admitted he was never getting divorced, but that was only to preserve his access to his son back in the country where he left him with his wife. And so he didn't have to give his wife all his money. I reached out to his wife several times, wondering if she was actually okay with what he and I were doing, or if he was lying to me about that too. Each time she'd act like she didn't care, but then he'd message me furious that he couldn't see his kid. Then it would die down, likely because he was feeding her more lies. So this recent time, I sent her undeniable proof of his involvement with me. Now he's furious, saying he never wants to see me again because I ruined his marriage and family. Dad, why can't he see that he ruined it? What do you expect when you try to keep me as a side piece? Never giving me a proper relationship. That is so hurtful, and I'm a very honest person. Oh, my God. Why expect me to lie alongside him, especially when the lies are dishonoring me by keeping me a dirty secret? He said multiple times that he never wants to see me again, but I also wonder why I want to anyhow, rather than viewing him as a sociopath. His word. Okay. Where's Ludacris when I need him? Use a hoe. I said that use a hoe. You're doing hoe activities with hoe tendencies. Girlfriend, this is you. Okay, first of all, I could see if you was with him for a day or two and then you found he was married and then you deuced out. But no, 5 years. And you are writing to me thinking I'm gonna have some pity for you because he don't want to take responsibility for his marriage ending. I don't give a fuck about his marriage. You are stupid and you acting like trash. Like you don't, there's no other man in Canada. You got to be with somebody else's husband. That's the best you could do. If you thought that you were going to get sympathy, understanding, and support on this channel for this kind of behavior, you are so writing the wrong person. I don't do shit like this. I don't advocate for shit like this. I don't support shit like this. If he really wanted to be away from his wife, he should have got a divorce. And he started straight telling you how he's going to use you. He told you to your face, I'm going to use you for intimacy because I want to still be able to see my son. He straight told you that that's what he was doing and using you. And yet you stayed with him. She's not going to get no sympathy here. Both of you ruined it. He ruined it by his behavior, but you was right in there with him, calling people and bothering her nerves with that. He's all the way in another country in Canada. Don't you think she knows he's fucking around? Did she need you to call her to point it out? What you think he's thousands and thousands of miles away working? What do you think that she thought he was doing? I'm just really, I don't even know what to say about to you because you need to get your shit together, chick. This is so inappropriate. Don't be writing people with stuff like this. This is some shit you should have took to your grave. You should have never told nobody that you was this dumb and trashy. This is ridiculous. Question number 6. This is a male in the 28 to 34 age group from the U.S. Summary of issue. My girlfriend makes her ex-husband a priority over me. And yet you stay. This is my first time writing to an advice person, so please cut me some slack if I do something wrong. My girlfriend and I have been together for a year and a half. We're both divorced with kids. I've been having a problem with the amount of energy that she spends on her ex-husband. He's an alcoholic, has ADHD, holds a job though, and seems to be an okay father for the most part. My main issue at this point is that she still does a lot of favors for him, running errands for him, taking the kids when something comes up for him. They also communicate a lot. Now, before you roast me, I do understand that they are co-parenting, and doing so takes communication. When her and I are together, we are not living together. I often see her texting him and talks to him at least once a day. She tells me it's not about him, it's about her kids. I suspect they are basically having conversations constantly. They talk about things outside of the kids, sports scores, his dating life, etc. I become reasonably comfortable with this, with the odd time I find it too much and bring it up. I do not believe that there's anything romantically or possibility that they would get back together. I do believe that all the communication fosters a bond between them, though. For example, he bought tickets for his kids to a show on a night he had the kids. Her and I had planned a night out. We live over an hour apart. But when she arrived at my house, she has the tickets in her purse. He had asked her to pick them up for him, and she did. Now we have to drive the tickets back to him, so our night was ruined. She can't seem to say no to him. I really like her, Deb, and our time together is pretty great when she's not preoccupied by him. I'm starting to feel as though my feelings are not important to her, and this stuff is never going to change. Wow. She must have that nook of fire. What are your thoughts? Okay. My thought is that no matter how much she's with you, her mind and heart are on him. There's no way that a woman who's not thinking about a man in a romantic sense would want to have that much communication with her ex. Let's be realistic here. When we have an ex, especially if we have to co-parent, I mean, it's fine. You in the best situation, you have conversation with them, but usually it's about the kids or, some trying to arrange schedules, something like that, some event coming up, something like that. Ask about their relatives that used to be your in-laws or whatever. I mean, some, little basic conversation like that. But for them to be talking about sharing sports scores and all this, and she doing favors for him and all that stuff here, I'm not seeing where you think that this is okay, why you think this is okay, and why you think that you have a relationship with this woman. You're the gap filler, sir. The bed warmer. I suggest you grow a spine and grow a pair of nuts and cut this off. You're just getting in deeper and deeper with this woman who's, I mean, if that dude got his shit together and snapped his fingers and said he wanted her back because he wants his family back, she would leave you so fast your head would spin. That's what you got. That's what you're in the situation that you're in right now. Yeah, they just be like, I don't know what's available for these people. Canadian brother, you available in Canada? You never sent me a picture of you, because I want to see what he be looking like. Been over here on this channel all these years. Summary of issue. Oh, I'm sorry. Question number 7. Female 22 to 27 from the U.S. Summary of issue. Does he really mean it? What is it? My manipulative ex sent me an apology email and ended it by saying that he does not want me to respond. I don't know if I will yet, but I need to know. Do exes mean it when they say you shouldn't respond? Oh my God. Where's my, you know what? I went and I found, hold on a second. Let me see if it's going to play right. It's going to play. If you guys could even hear this, you could hear this little sound. Bruh, 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 bruh. Oh my God. My daughter was giving me a whole bunch of these little sound effects. She's like, Mommy, you need to be playing these on your show. I'm like, okay, let's try this out. Let's see what happens when I press that button. You know, I don't know what this girl needs. The first thing that you need to do though is you should have blocked him, because when you have an ex, the one thing that you don't do is continue, unless you got a co-parent, then all bets are off. But if you just, it's just a regular ex, once you yeah, but when you start using people's real songs like that, you have to pay them it's a copyright violation or something, unless I got some some permission from Luda to play that on my show. I mean, I have to have like something like that and register it with YouTube, then they would let it slide. But other than that, it's just a whole bunch of drama, and I don't feel like being bothered. But yeah, my daughter gave me a whole bunch of I can see you myself. I don't need him. Like I said, I used to know all the words, but I kind of forgot them. But so I'll start adding some of that stuff. It's just too funny. But anyway, you didn't block him. And so he's trying to worm his way back into your world by getting your attention again. See, and it worked because you dumb. And you sitting up there thinking about, what does it mean? Does he mean it? Oh my God. Why does he write me now? What does he want? What should I do? I'm going to write this advice column. I'm going to ask her. Does he mean what he's saying? What should I do? See, you just all fixated on it, and that's exactly what he wanted. What you were supposed to do is delete that thing, and you never saw it, which you really, like I said, shouldn't have got the message, because you should have had to blocked him. So that's what you're going to do now, okay? Block him out and then stop thinking about him. Question number 8. This is a female in the 20 to 34 age group. She's from the UK. The summary of issue: the guy I'm seeing has invited me to a wedding abroad. Hello, Deb and squad. I'm a longtime listener from the UK, and I need some advice. I recently started seeing a new guy, and he's invited me to his friend's wedding in Greece as his +1. I said yes, but I'm now starting to regret it. I was under the impression that he would be covering quite a bit of the cost, but he's expecting me to go 50-50 on everything. It's in a couple of weeks' time, so not much notice at all. I'm feeling stressed about it all and regretting saying yes. For reference, I've paid £350 for my own flights, bought an outfit, paying for airport hotel for us both, paid £50 for an excursion, and he's now asking for half of the cost of the hire car, which I could do without, to be honest. I'm really happy just chilling at the Airbnb and getting a taxi here and there. Yikes face. He had originally asked for a 50-50 on an Airbnb too, but I explained I can't afford it right now. I usually have to plan in advance for holidays. What are your thoughts, Deb? How would you suggest I handle this? I'm not sure whether to go anymore, but it's all paid for. We've had a bit of an argument about it all. It's all paid for. Should get a refund. Go and get. Don't you have no doctor friends? Everybody should have a doctor friend. You've developed a sudden health crisis, and you need to send this letter to the airport, and you can't get your money back. But what they'll do is give you a voucher, and it's usually good for 1 year for you to go any equivalent of any other ticket that costs that much. Or if you said something that costs more, then it's a credit towards that purchase. You just pay the difference. That's what you do. This 50 pounds, and you got a dress or something, you could take that back. You got the receipts. You pay for airport hotel. What you do that for? Cancel it. Get your money back. You pay $50 for an excursion. Well, I don't know if you canceled it enough advance. Usually they give you your money back. And now he wants half of the hire car. Nope. Tell him to ride a bicycle or walk or get his own taxi or something. I wouldn't be going. First of all, he had, started seeing somebody who's new and he invites you out the country like that. I don't think I trust that anyway. In the age group, it's just too much. That you're gonna be having your happy ass all over in another country and stuff, and they can't say he kidnapped you because you went voluntarily. You bought your own ticket. Girl, stop being stupid. This is not the environment for this kind of adventurousness. You could be able to you do that kind of stuff, back in the 90s sometimes, but this you need to be more careful. This is I don't even like this whole thing. Something about it is just very unsavory to me. It just sounds like a setup. So do what I said. Get your doctor friend, somebody to write you a letter so you can get your credit at the airline, cancel the hotel reservation next, and any excursions you can tell them you're not going to come, then credit back your credit card, and that's what you do. And take the outfit back to the store. And so everything that you can undo the majority of what you've done and get all of your funds back into your bank account. And then I would put dude in the wind personally. Trying to use my money to help pay for half of your fucking trip to your friend's wedding. Motherfucker. A dentist can do it too? Oh yeah, girl. Oh yeah, good. I got my tooth is bad. Whatever. Create some disease ain't nobody ever heard of. But get your money back. Get your credit. Question number 9. This is a female in the 45 to 54 age group. Summary of issue. My daughter's ex-boyfriend is harassing her for money for an old utility bill. Well, why isn't she writing? I'm so tempted to skip this letter because I don't like this kind of stuff. It's a grown-ass woman, and here you are running interference. But let's see what you say. Now I'm curious because I know it's going to be some bullshit. I got your name from a friend who listens to you all the time. Oops, she just heard me say you was on some bullshit. I'll try to keep it brief, as she said that's what you prefer. My daughter's 25 now, but was living with someone 3 years ago. She was working. He was a student. They shared the rent, water bill, and broadband bill. The electric bill was in his name. He didn't pay towards council tax, as he said he wasn't liable as he was a student. My daughter had to pay the full amount as he wasn't eligible for a single person discount. When they broke up, there was a huge confusion with the water company over the bill. They were both billed for another property. I eventually helped them sort out the water bill. The ex-boyfriend stayed in the flat for the duration of the tenancy. My daughter moved out. He left the place in a state and the deposit was not returned. My daughter has moved on and is happy in a new relationship. The ex-boyfriend is now saying that she owes him money for a utility bill. This is nearly 3 years after they split. Her name was never listed with the utility company. My daughter has tried blocking and ignoring him, but he keeps harassing her for money. My question is, can the ex-boyfriend use the small claims court to get my daughter to pay towards the bill if her name was never on the account? Thank you. No, because whatever the bill is that would have, he stayed living there, she left, right? She can prove that she wasn't living there, right? Her mail was redirected. She put like a change of address form into the mail and stuff like that. They keep records that show what date that went into effect. It was proved that she no longer lived there. So then you can take, if he should be so bodacious as to try to take her to court for some fraudulent claim on a utility bill that he didn't pay, then she can say that I wasn't even living there, so I don't know what he's talking about. And then they'll, laugh him out of court and tell him he better pay them people their money. So there's no reason for you to be concerned, or her either, And if he gets too jiggy, she can always file a harassment charge with the police and get a restraining order. So then if he violates it, then he'll be in some legal trouble in addition to owing a back water bill. That's what I would do. But at 25, your daughter's pretty capable. She's capable enough to handle this on her own without you running in fierce like a mother hen. Okay, so back up and let her either sink or swim. She's grown. Question number 10. This is a male in the 35 to 42 age group from Australia. Summary of issue. I'm approaching 40 and I'm looking for something more serious, but I'm struggling. I'm in my late 30s. I was a late bloomer, and my first serious relationship was from 25 to 32, and it didn't work out. Since then, I've had a few short-term relationships, but I've been single most of my 30s, going on dates, but not really getting anywhere. The pandemic didn't help, and I was also working very long hours at various points, but I do have a good work-life balance at the moment, and I'm tiring of the carousel of serial dating and casual eggplant and would like something more meaningful. Also, it is competitive out there, and while currently I'm in my prime and considered quite handsome, eventually my looks will start to fade, and my age will disqualify me as a prospect for a lot of women, and I won't have as many options. And there is an element of adverse selection. Okay, he's going on and on. Oh, God. Even if it's not a fairy tale romance, at least I want to feel a very strong connection, i.e., marrying your best friend as well as your lover, and also have a lot of chemistry. I think that regular nook is important in a long-term relationship. And then I've been on lots of dates in my 30s, but like I said, nothing has really developed. I wasted a little time with unsuitable, incompatible women. Other occasions, maybe I should have given the person more of a chance, but I wasn't feeling it. And when there are so many options, you start feeling lukewarm or indifferent. It's easier to just find someone else. That's true. And now I'm more conscious of the fact that if I were to get into a relationship and it doesn't work out, you waste a lot more time than the month or less of a dating scenario where you date and it goes nowhere. And maybe it isn't like the movies when you quote just know, or it quote it feels right, and that guides you to the right choice. So I'm not sure what I should be doing to change my approach and give myself the best chance of finding a happy ending. Any advice welcome. Oh my God, you think too much. It's not rocket science. Okay, you just go out, you go on dates. You should be dating 2 or 3 or 4 women at the same time, so you're not wasting all this time with this one at a time thing. Look at my video called The Pair and a Spare Dating Program. That needs to be you. Okay, you need to be dating a couple of people. And all this stuff, I mean, you just wrote, child, what the hell is wrong with you? You just use too many words. If you're like this when you have when you're on a date with a woman, I can see why they would not really want to be dealing with you too much. You talk too much. You in your head too much. When a man is like this, and overly analytical about everything, you struggle feeling. Feelings for you are like some kind of esoteric out there in the universe somewhere kind of thing. And it's like you're not really connected to your emotions because you have too many words and you're doing way too much overthinking about this situation. It's not that hard. You go on a woman, you like the woman, you date the woman. You don't like the woman, you don't date the woman. I mean, it's not rocket science, like I said. Oh, but it's like a fairy tale. You would drive me crazy. I would not want to be bothered with you at all. Well, yeah, he's looking toward, this is the kind of guy, he's actually probably afraid of intimacy, but I'm going to leave that out of the equation. But, when they start finding all these reasons why it has to be perfect and all this kind of stuff, they don't really want a relationship with a real woman because she ain't going to be perfect and neither are you. But that they don't really want, they just want to talk about it. They want to dream about it. They want to fantasize about it and wish for it and tell people they want it and all stuff. But when it comes time to really, put the shoe to the pedal, if they say pedal to the metal, they back out. They don't really want that. They just want to talk about it. I don't even know if it's feminine. It's just foolishness. Let's move on to question number 11 because he's just way too wordy for me. Female in the 18 to 21 age group from the U.S. Summary of issue. I lost weight and I got in a relationship and my best friend was not happy for me. Deb, is my best friend a hater? Ooh, this sounds like some tea. Deb, back when I was 17, I lost a lot of weight, like a lot. I was morbidly obese and I went to a healthy weight. Me and my best friend would talk about losing weight all the time when we were younger, but we stopped. We were both passionate about it because we were both obese. So when COVID restrictions got lifted, I went to college and everyone was surprised about my weight loss. But she never said a word. I know some people don't talk about other people's weight, but I would say I'm going to the gym, no sweet, eating healthier, etc. But at the same time, I feel like I shouldn't expect my best friend to say anything, but it made me feel like she wasn't happy for me. And I felt as if I brought it up, I'd be kind of rubbing it in or something. Huh. Another thing I found weird is that when I turned 18, I got my first boyfriend. He asked me out on a decorated hotel room with rose petals, and I posted it on my close friend's story, and she literally just viewed it. I found it weird because she is a hopeless romantic and loves cute things like that. So I expect her to be the first person to be happy for me. Literally everyone was happy except her. She would find it weird that I never liked anyone and never saw me in a relationship, so I really thought she would have said something. It might sound egotistical, but things like this never happen to me. And I want the friends that are in my life to be happy for me. But she was just watching everything and not saying anything, and it really felt weird since she's my best friend. She's kind of distanced herself from me when I first lost weight. She would make an effort to see each other before I lost weight, but it felt like things were different. And she was being really awkward despite me not bringing up my weight loss. Literally, the most was her asking what other bag was for, and I said my gym bag. I want to know your perspective. Well, she doesn't have to say anything. You noticed that she was being awkward. And so you don't have to bring up your weight loss. All she has to do is look at you. It's not like you have to throw it in her face. I mean, she just looks at you and she can see it. Okay, so I'm not sure what you're getting at with that. But, you have to understand. Yeah, I don't know what the deal was with the hotel room thing. Whatever. That's what she wrote, so that's all we know. But she's probably feeling envious. I mean, you guys are young. So you're at that age where, you would want to be able to wear your little back out hoochie tops and your little short shorts and stuff like that. I mean, that you're in that young age when that, I'm not saying it's appropriate, but you can get away with that kind of stuff if you have the right kind of body. When you start getting old, you should not be dressing like that. But she's probably envious because, that's something that she knows she can't really do. And if she did, it wouldn't look cute. And I'm sure she would like to have a boyfriend too. But, it's more of a struggle. I mean, there are dudes that like bigger women, don't get me wrong. But I don't know about morbidly obese. But, they like sisters with a little meat on them and stuff like that. Like that Jack Hay lady. You know how she was curvy. You would never see she was skinny or anything, but yeah, they do used to go crazy over her. So, and remember that lady? What was her name? I can't think of her name. She was a model and stuff, more like in the '90s, but I'll think of her name later. But anyway, she was curvy too. Busty and curvy sister, really pretty though. Jane Kennedy. Jane Kennedy. Remember her? Was her husband's name Leon Kennedy? But yeah. So I'm thinking it's something like that. She has to come to grips with, your newfound confidence, the way that you look and the fact that men are going to be looking at you with desire in their eyes versus looking at you like, God damn, how many cheeseburgers did she eat? Kind of thing. So, it's a big change for her. So you did a lot of changing and you don't understand it. You changed. And so you're pretty much expecting that she would change with you. It don't work like that. All the change, it took you years to get that weight off of you, where you had all that COVID time, right? Then you went to college after. So don't you think that she deserves that much time to get used to the new you? You can't get disappointed in her for not just jumping into the line, right off the bat. I mean, she needs some time, okay? You sprung it on her. You didn't even tell her. You just showed up at school, 2 sizes or 10, whatever number of sizes smaller. So don't you think that you should cut her a little slack? Not be so harsh. Just kind of chill out a little bit. That's your friend. You guys are friends for other reasons other than what you look like. So focus on that. And if, it's too much of a struggle for her, just step back and give her the space that she needs to adjust. Okay? Just, chill. Be chill. Question number 12. This is a female in the 20 to 34 age group from the U.S. Summary of issue. Does this behavior and attitude mean that I am controlling? I surprised my boyfriend with the holiday for his birthday and it completely went to shit. He's been really stressed with work and finances for some time now, and I thought it would be nice to have a little break. I made an itinerary of all the places that I made on it and gave it to him. What? Oh, listing all the places I had and gave it to him. His reaction was so underwhelming, and quite frankly, my feelings were extremely hurt. It took a lot of time, energy, and effort and money to bring those plans to life, and for him to have such a lackluster response to it kind of upset me. I feel like he moved on really quickly once he had skimmed the itinerary and started talking about other things. I asked him if he's happy about it 4 or 5 times because I couldn't see any happiness anywhere on him. It completely blew my high and my energy fell flat. We got on with the day and he noticed and mentioned it to me. I told him I was expecting a bit more and I got very emotional about it. In all honesty, I just felt very unappreciated. He apologized, but then cut a long story short. We ended up arguing about it that evening, and he said to me, I'm controlling because I did not react the way that I wanted him to. Does me feeling unappreciated and expecting a more grateful and loving response mean that I'm controlling? Well, did he at least thank you? You didn't say that. Did he at least say thank you? Because, let's rewind for a little bit. Okay, it's his birthday. You surprise him with this holiday. Is this someplace that he wanted to go, or is this where you want to go? Are the things on this itinerary that you pick for you guys to do activities that he enjoys, or these things that you enjoy? Did you do all of this with an expectation that he was going to jump up and down like a monkey and be all screaming and excited and stuff? Like put on a show so you could feel like the big queen bee? Sounds like it. That sounds like that's what you was looking for. My thing is this, it doesn't, to me, his response shows concern and worry. Like either he didn't really like some of the stuff that was on your itinerary, but didn't want to tell you, or he didn't really want to go wherever this holiday was that you picked, or he didn't want to do it with you, or he didn't want to do it right then because, as you say, he's been busy with work and his money's kind of funny. So you're taking him away from opportunities to work to go on this holiday. So, maybe he's going to lose money doing this. There's all kind of, I'm thinking of all of this stuff just while I'm reading this. So there could be so many possibilities here why he reacted the way he reacted that don't have anything to do with really, not all of them really, not with appreciating the gesture that you made. I suggest that you calm down and act more mature and go back to him and say, I have to admit that I was a little disappointed by your lack of response, lack of enthusiasm, or whatever you want to use. But then I got to thinking about it, and I came back to ask you, was that a mistake? Are you too busy with work? You can't take time off? Or is it that you don't like something about the trip? Let me know. Be honest. So he can tell you. Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking it's something he looked at the itinerary and he was like, I don't want to do this bullshit. But he didn't want to tell you that because you was all excited. So he just switched the subject and changed, to talk about something else. I'm thinking that's what it is. But, you still need to find out because it could be that in combination with something else, or it could not be that. And he's just distracted because he's thinking about, oh, no, now I have to take off of work. Who am I going to get to cover my shift? His brain shifted to that kind of mode. So you wait for him to jump up and down and be a monkey. And he's thinking about, oh, my God, who's going to take my shift? And maybe I shouldn't go because I really need to work. I'm just broke as hell right now. And taking 2 days away from work, it's going to make me even broken when I get back. He could have been thinking all kinds of stuff. But you don't know that. And so you just all in your feelings and thinking about yourself. My thing is, you got all that kind of money to be spending on a trip. Why don't you tell them I'll pay your cable bill or your phone bill or something this month as your birthday present or a gift for you? But, you could done something like that with the money that you just spent on this trip. Right? If you really want to do something nice for him. Take some of the heat off of him, some pressure. I don't know, but it's just something about this that's really bothering me. And I think that honest conversation between the two of you will reveal what it is. Question number 13. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from the UK. Summary of the issue: dating while pregnant. Okay. Oh, I'm not planning nothing for nobody like that, because you never know what's going on in people's lives. You should not try to, unless you're married to them and you know for a fact what's going on in their life, and you got their boss's phone number, you can call and double check with and make, you know what I mean? You got that kind of in, then I might do it. But just some guy I'm just dating, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna interject myself in his life like that. So let's talk about this thing. Dating while pregnant. Yes, child. Yes. Yes. Where my little thing at? I have to play it because this is
bruh, 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 bruh,
well,
bruh, bruh, bruh,
people
bruh,
topic.
bruh, bruh,
Basically, I'm 18 weeks
bruh,
pregnant
bruh,
after my
bruh,
ex left me.
bruh,
9 weeks
bruh,
pregnant for
bruh,
someone else.
bruh, bruh,
So you had a chance
bruh,
to dip out of
bruh,
this thing
bruh,
because you could have got
bruh,
rid of it at
bruh,
9 weeks.
bruh,
But oh
bruh,
no, you
bruh,
kept going.
bruh,
I'm
bruh,
conscious that
bruh,
I'll not be able to
bruh,
date.
bruh,
I probably
bruh,
have
bruh,
nook for a
bruh,
really long time,
bruh,
and that
bruh,
makes me
bruh,
sad.
bruh, 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 bruh,
I still
bruh,
have needs, and
bruh,
I would like the
bruh,
opportunity to experience
bruh,
some
bruh,
intimacy before
bruh,
an
bruh,
anticipated, very
bruh,
dry,
bruh,
long dry
bruh,
spell. I'm
bruh,
not sure how to go
bruh,
about it though.
bruh,
I don't even
bruh,
know if I want to
bruh,
mention that I'm
bruh,
pregnant. I'm not
bruh,
looking for anything
bruh,
serious, especially
bruh,
since I'm going to
bruh,
relocate
bruh,
when I'm 8 months
bruh,
pregnant.
bruh,
I used to use
bruh,
Hinge for
bruh,
dating, but I
bruh,
think that seems to
bruh,
be more
bruh,
serious, whereas
bruh,
Tinder
bruh,
seems to be full of
bruh,
weird people.
bruh,
I live
bruh,
in central
bruh,
London, and usually it's
bruh,
easy to meet
bruh,
people with apps,
bruh,
but it's just the
bruh,
approach that I'm
bruh,
unsure of.
bruh,
Have you
bruh,
heard of anyone else who
bruh,
has dated while
bruh,
pregnant, and how did it work
bruh,
out for them?
bruh,
Yes, I
bruh,
have actually,
bruh,
and
bruh,
they were like little
bruh,
hoochie mamas,
bruh, bruh,
and
bruh,
they had a new
bruh,
boyfriend before
bruh,
the other dude's
bruh,
baby even popped
bruh,
out.
bruh,
And
bruh,
then that one would
bruh,
leave them, and then they'd have
bruh,
another baby by
bruh,
get pregnant with
bruh,
somebody else, and then
bruh,
be pregnant
bruh,
again with the new
bruh,
dude, the third
bruh,
dude's kid.
bruh,
Yeah, I've heard of
bruh,
it.
bruh,
Do
bruh,
I think
bruh,
that makes any sense?
bruh,
Absolutely
bruh,
not.
bruh,
Do I think
bruh,
that a young
bruh,
girl who's pregnant,
bruh,
18 weeks
bruh,
pregnant,
bruh,
should be thinking
bruh,
about the next
bruh,
dick she gonna be
bruh,
riding when
bruh,
she's pregnant with
bruh,
somebody else's baby?
bruh,
I don't think that
bruh,
either.
bruh,
I think
bruh,
that you it's
bruh,
just
bruh,
unfortunate that you did
bruh,
not get a
bruh,
termination,
bruh,
because
bruh,
what you're gonna have
bruh,
is a baby
bruh,
born to an
bruh,
idiot.
bruh, bruh,
You're
bruh,
stupid.
bruh,
You're
bruh,
desperate and
bruh,
you're dumb.
bruh, bruh,
And then you are
bruh,
not gonna make a good
bruh,
mother because
bruh,
your
bruh,
focus is
bruh,
all on the wrong
bruh,
thing.
bruh,
You need to be getting
bruh,
your mind right
bruh,
about how you gonna
bruh,
raise a baby
bruh,
by yourself.
bruh,
Getting your
bruh,
money on
bruh,
instead of
bruh,
worried about a dick.
bruh,
That's
bruh,
what you need to be
bruh,
doing. What
bruh,
kind of
bruh,
environment are you gonna put
bruh,
this kid
bruh,
in? Do
bruh,
you have
bruh,
any damn
bruh,
money?
bruh,
Where
bruh,
you gonna get some?
bruh,
Are you gonna make child
bruh,
the daddy pay child
bruh,
support?
bruh,
They'll do a
bruh,
DNA test,
bruh,
make him
bruh,
pay if it's his
bruh,
kid.
bruh, bruh,
These are the things that
bruh,
you should be thinking about.
bruh,
You're putting all
bruh,
your ducks in a
bruh,
row, not
bruh,
thinking about the
bruh,
next dick.
bruh, 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 bruh,
You're
bruh,
doing too much.
bruh, bruh, bruh,
You're
bruh,
doing way
bruh,
too much here, chick.
bruh, bruh, bruh,
So yeah,
bruh,
people do
bruh,
that. People
bruh,
do all kind of stupid
bruh,
stuff. But
bruh, bruh, bruh,
why do you think that
bruh,
having knowing
bruh,
if someone else did
bruh,
something stupid is
bruh,
going to absolve you of
bruh,
making a smart
bruh,
decision?
bruh, bruh,
I'm just like,
bruh, 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 bruh,
it's still playing.
bruh.
Oh, sorry about that. I must have hit the thing too many times. It's only supposed to play one time. My apologies. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really, but it was not appropriate though for this letter. Although I didn't want it to play that many times. Sorry about that. Yeah, I saw it. Thanks for letting me know. Please repeat. You want to repeat this letter? Yeah, I turned it off when you told me that it was still on. I didn't realize it was on. Well, anyway, she's 18 weeks pregnant. The dude left her when she was 9 weeks pregnant. She's still pregnant. And she's worrying about, not being able to date and have nook. That's what she's worrying about. Because she has needs. And she wants to have some intimacy before her long dry spell. And she thinks she's not even sure she'd be telling dudes that she's pregnant since she's not looking for anything serious. And she's going to move when she is 8 months pregnant anyway. And then she says she lives in central London and it's usually easy to meet people with the apps, but it's just an approach that I'm unsure of. Like, basically, I guess what she's asking is if when she meets these dudes on the apps, if she should tell them that she's pregnant or not. That's what it sounds like she's asking. Yeah, she didn't get one. She had the opportunity to get one when dude left her at 9 weeks. She could have got one then, but she didn't. So now she's 18 weeks. I don't know. That's pretty, far along. So I'm thinking she's just going to be having it. But yeah, I think adoption would be a good option as well. Yeah, that's what I told her. You should not be doing that. You should be thinking about, where you're going to live, how you're going to raise this kid, what kind of work you're going to be doing, lining up daycare, medical insurance. I mean, practical things. The realities of, getting clothes together. Baby needs clothes, baby needs diapers, what the baby gonna eat. This kind of stuff. That's the stuff she should be thinking about, not whose dick she gonna be hopping on. Question number 14. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group from the U.S. Summary of issue. He claims that I am not affectionate enough. My partner and I have very differing love languages. I have grown up in a loving family, but we were not touchy-feely, and I've never really required that to feel secure in a relationship. I'm also an only child, and I like a bit of space and time on my own. My partner, on the other hand, craves a lot of physical touch. I've had to adapt to meet his needs, which hasn't been an issue, as I realize we need to come together to find a good balance. But Deb, he likes to be cuddling, kissing, and touching a lot, and has a high nook drive, and I like that too, but I can often feel stifled by it. Every couple of months, his mismatch of love languages rears his head, not by me, but by my partner, when he tells me that I'm often not giving enough or questioning if I still love him and find him as attractive as not being as affectionate as he likes. I have adapted a lot to make him feel loved, and it is becoming a little unnatural with how conscious I am about things. I'm now at the stage of thinking, oh, we've not had nook for a week. If we don't do it soon, then he'll bring it up. This morning, he was upset that I didn't show affection before I went to bed, or indeed, before I got up for work. When I go to bed after a long day of work, I like to have a bit of downtime to catch up on socials on my phone, read the news, or read my book. He goes to sleep before me, but we go to bed together every night. It is becoming a regular issue, and it isn't like he is touch-starved. I come home from work and greet him with a cuddle and a kiss, ask about his day. We make dinner and cuddle on the couch, etc. We're playful. We regularly show affection, and I've upped my physical touch a lot for him. It's a good relationship. I'm just worried that I'm perhaps not enough or able to meet his continual needs, as always something I'm not doing or giving him in terms of affection. And this happens almost every couple of months, and I feel like unless I'm on his wavelength, I'm never going to be able to meet his needs. So what does that mean to you? It means that you two are incompatible. He wants somebody to be pawing all over him all the time, or to be pawing on you. I can't stand people like that. Get the fuck away from me. Go sit your ass down somewhere and stop touching me. I'm surprised you haven't said, this wouldn't work for me. It's making me itch just hearing about all this. And he's like a damn baby. That's how infants are. They're going to be clinging on to mommy and just, hugging on you, rubbing on you, screaming when you walk away and stuff like that. Oh, I can't stand it. I don't know how people have 4 or 5 kids. I don't know how they do it. Because, it's just too much. It's too much. They're always, especially when you nurse, oh my God, you get touched the fuck out. They're just touching you all. They're just touching you. You just feel crazy because you can never get a moment like where you just by yourself. It's just, you with them for 9 months while you're carrying them, and then they come out and you still got to be with them every fucking second. It's too much. It's too much. I cannot deal with men like that. I've met some, and they just want to be touching you all the fucking time. And I don't mean like, like put their arm around you while you're walking and stuff. Lightweight shit, hold your hand. I don't mean lightweight shit like that. I mean like just draped all over you like a coat and, rubbing on you all the time, rubbing your leg, touching you and stuff. I'm like, oh my God, just stop touching me. Stop it. Just go over there somewhere. No, the baby's not. I mean, it's okay at first, and then it just starts to get on your nerves. I couldn't take it. So yeah, I needed like what they call it now, respite. I needed respite from my daughter. I couldn't take it. It was just too much. I knew it was too much the day I've been with her all day and she's nursing and stuff. You got to pick them up. You got to change the diaper. They walk them around. You pick them up because they can't do nothing. You got to carry them everywhere and pick them up and play with them and entertain them and stuff. You're constantly touching them. Okay, I know they need that to thrive. That's great. I understand it. But at the same time, I was not used to that shit. I come from a family with boys. We wasn't doing all that huggy kissy shit. I mean, I hug and kiss my grandparents and stuff, my aunts, but not like that. I mean, not that constant touching. And so that was my first experience with somebody really constantly touching me like that. It drove me crazy. It made me feel insane. I just couldn't stand it. And so, honey, when the husband came home, I handed him that goddamn baby, and I got my keys on with my car, and I just drove around. I wasn't really doing anything, but that became my routine. I just needed to like collect myself and feel like it was, this is too much. So I'm having flashbacks reading this letter. As they say, I'm triggered. I'm triggered. I can't do it. I cannot do it. This is just too much. So, girlfriend, you're going to have to think about seriously if you can handle this, because whatever pattern you set now is going to be the pattern for the relationship. You cannot set a pattern and then draw back and change things. So whatever way you're going to do it, you got to do it, and you got to do it consistently. Now, are you sure this is the man for you? This is something that you would be changing your entire personality to accommodate. And since he still complains, that means it's still not enough. So how much more do you have in you to give him? That's what you need to think about. Personally, I would be like, ugh, we're better as friends, because that way I don't have to touch you. I couldn't do it. Question number 15. Female, 35 to 41, male 2. They're both from Canada. Summary of the issue: is it normal or is it a deal breaker to have trouble with gender roles and anger management? We are 2 years in, living together close to a year. For both of us, it's our longest relationship yet. And there's serious talk about a wedding, and we are actively trying for a baby. In the beginning of the relationship, he was basically in a state of panic over the fact that he got into one, and I had to exercise a lot of patience. He made huge strides, though. It is obvious he put a lot of effort into learning how to be a partner. We have our ups and downs like everyone else, but things are generally good. By the way, and I don't know where to put this, but he always rejects the idea of therapy. However, lately it's become increasingly clear to me that he handles frustration really badly. For example, he threw a spatula across the room because it was stained with turmeric, nearly left me in the middle of a main road in a foreign country during our vacation, and he claims he would never have followed through, though. But I still don't think that's normal. On top of that, I've noticed a pattern that when he's angry, I need to make the move to appease him and to bring us closer together again. But when I'm angry, his reaction is many times derision. My offense is either ridiculous or his offense is greater and more justified. Okay, so then she talks about house chores, okay. And when I'm sad, these are such small issues and blah, blah, blah. My mom says it's normal and you put up with a lot in a relationship. She's been with my dad for 40 years. But as a millennial, I kind of had the expectation that the men of my generation would be more informed and not replicate their father's shortcomings, or at least put some effort into it. I just want to know, are my expectations unrealistic? And is this something that I need to accept, or is this a deal breaker? So he only works half-time, mostly from home. He doesn't want to do chores. He has a big issue with anger management. He throws things. He was panicking about being in a relationship, but he gradually seemed to accept it. He was going to leave you in the middle of a road in a foreign country during your vacation. Just the fact that he threatened you with something like that, and this is supposed to be a man charged with protecting you and loving you, would be enough for me to cut him loose. Once I made it back to my country, on my soil, where I'm a citizen, poof, that shit would have been over. You're not going to leave me nowhere, motherfucker. That's just not going to happen. I would keep my mouth closed, though, till I got to where I needed to be. And then I would just cuss him out and leave him standing there. That's what I would do. You didn't do that, though. And you're trying to figure out if this is something you should accept or not. I'm trying to wonder why you think that this should even be a conversation. What woman wants to have stuff thrown at her, have a man who doesn't hold up his end of the bargain, and they live in the same house, and who has anger management issues and who threatens to leave her in a foreign country in the middle of a road by herself. Why would you think that that would be somebody that you could even think about being with? Y'all be killing me. I just don't even understand what's going on here. What you're thinking. I can't make that decision for you. I can only tell you what I would do. And that would have been this, she would have been over. Question number 16. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from the U.S. Summary of issue. What can I say to get out of my friends/colleagues leaving get together? Or she must mean a going away party, leaving get together. My work/colleague friend, my work friend/colleague is having a leaving party get together next Saturday. And I don't know how to get out of it without looking bad. We have known each other as office buddies for years, so I know it would look bad if I don't go. Who gives a shit? I'm not a social person. I don't really drink. And I know if I go, she'll want me to stay and carry it on in town or in the next pub, and I'll just hate it. How do I get out of this? Just saying, quote, I can't, I have plans, won't fly. She'll keep asking me, what do I have going on? And everyone at work will want to know what's more important than my friend leaving. Help me. I don't understand why you just can't say, no, I'm not going because you guys are going to be drinking and I don't drink and there's no point in me going. I'll say my goodbyes to you here in the office. Here's a little going away present. Give her a plan or some shit for her next job. And then hug her and give her a kiss on the cheek and walk out the door and go about your life. The bitch is leaving anyway. So what's all this worrying about what people are going to say and stuff? Why are you concerned about what people are going to say? I never worry about what people are going to say, probably even when I should. Well, I mean, you could do that. That's a passive, but I'm not about that passive thing. I just tell people. I mean, the only time we do that kind of stuff is if it's a dangerous situation, like you did with some crazy knick-knock who's been threatening you or something. Well, then, yeah, I might say we'll go the passive route because our goal is our safety and our life to get out of the situation alive, right? But this is some bitch from the job. Who gives a shit what she thinks and what these people think? They ain't paying you. They're not paying you to go to this party. So you don't owe them anything. But like I said, you say your goodbyes to her at the office, and then you walk out the door when it's time for you to go, and you get in your car or go to your train station, whatever you do, and you go home. After you told them that I'm not going, and here's but I do appreciate the years that we work together. You're great. I know you'll do well in your life in the future. You give her ass a plant and a card, and you go on about your life. That's what you do. So I never go to those kind of things. Yes, we are unapologetic and we don't need to make excuses. We just tell people the way it is. You don't say, I have plans. You just tell her you're not going. No, I'm not going. Well, why? Because I don't drink and there's no point in me going around with a bunch of drunks. So here's your present now. Question number 17. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from the UK. Summary of issue. My younger sister wants to see me jealous of her, and I need advice on how to deal. I'm 25, engaged, and my 19-year-old sister does a few things that piss me off. Number one, she asked me very cunningly if I'm jealous that my soon-to-be father-in-law loves her more than me. He doesn't. She's the youngest, 19, and he's an immigrant, so he shows a patronic, I don't know what this word is. He must be patronistic affection to her that I also receive much more of on a daily basis. Tells me that I'm jealous of her because she's prettier than me. This had literally nothing to do with our fight. Pointed out that in the family group picture, my fiance stood next to her and not me. Deb, it was because he was getting me a drink at the bar that she was standing at, and I was talking to other people. My mom came over suddenly for a pic, and it honestly would have been weird to change where everyone was standing. Take a couple steps and go over there. What's the big deal? I've spoken about this to my friend, and she thinks that what I'm about to say is the final straw. Quote, I still love her dearly. She's my sister. So I'm telling her about how I'm buying everyone their bridesmaid's dress, and she interrupted me to say only get warm tones because I'm warm toned. So I say it's not about what she wants. It's about everyone matching. Then she says, are you threatening by me looking better than you? So I quipped with, go ahead and wear white. For all I care, you'll never look better than me. And I was like, would you be happy or something if I acted like I was jealous? What's wrong with you? And she started telling me I'm insane. I need to learn how to take a joke. I'm just frustrated because I've generally never wanted less than the best for her. And it's depressing that she's basically foaming at the mouth to catch me being jealous. This is the first time I called her out on it, though. The rest of the time, I just ignored her. I told my mom, and she said to be sympathetic because she's waiting to hear back from colleges. But I feel like this has happened before this stage, and I want it to end. Advice? Yes, when she doesn't get into college, just say, well, you may be prettier than me, but your show is stupid. You're dumber because you can't even get into college. I would just be waiting. It's perched like an owl in the tree, just waiting for them rejection letters to come so I can lob her with that and just crush her ego and crush her soul because she's doing too much. It's like nobody cares about you, little 19-year-old twit. Sit your little ass down somewhere and grow up first, and then maybe somebody will care about you. Oh, I'm telling you, I know me. I'm too vicious. I'm just too evil. I would just be knowing she waiting to get into college. If anything, even if I did, I would get her mail first, and then she got an acceptance letter, I would rip that shit up. She would never see it. Yes, honey, ow. Hoo. She would never see it. She'd be sitting there sweating bricks, trying to figure out if she got into school. I said, well, you still get no acceptance letter? Well, you must really be hella stupid. They didn't bother sending you a rejection letter. That means they really don't want to be bothered with you. They're not even wasting no 40 cents on a stamp. I just rub it in. I just have to hurt her feelings just because. Yeah, I would go in the mailbox and destroy them. I'm telling you. Because something like this, I don't get mad. I get even. And then I go for the jugular. So, yeah, she would get got. And there'd just be nothing. She'd be in tears. And I'd be like, whoa, look at you. Are you mad because I'm smarter than you? You're prettier. But see, prettier don't get you into college. Brains. That's what gets you in there. And you're lacking sorely in that area. So, that's your opportunity to just rub it in. Just hammer at her. Just hammer at her. That's what I would do for my sister acting like that. I know. That's right, Sliver. Even the college ghosted her ass. Oh, my God. That would just be a golden opportunity. Just fuck her little ass over to no end, to the end, but she would never forget it for the rest of her life. That's what I would be going for. Question number 18, female in the 22 to 26 age group from the USA, male, also in the same age group. Summary of issue, my boyfriend of 3 years has no savings when he told me otherwise. His paycheck is going almost entirely to his parents. Wow. Who make $700 a month with SSI, but I'm the one in the wrong for having a problem with it. He makes $2,400 a month. This is a huge amount compared to my $950 at Dunkin' Donuts. Where y'all live at? Man, $950. He'd be starving out here. Okay. He pays the phone bill of $150, water bill $150, and $450 rent for his parents. He buys the house groceries and his own food. That's the extent of what I know, but he never seems to have any money. Both his parents are disabled with food stamps, but only one gets SSI. He told me a year ago that he was saving well and at a steady pace of $400 a month. But he told me last night that he has absolutely no savings. He said his parents are trying to teach him responsibility, and I told him they're taking advantage of him. He got in a huff and just left me alone. He's too mad to talk about it anymore, I think. I just don't understand. Does this really all boil down to opinion? He's making it sound like I'm being ridiculous. But at the end of the day, he lied to me. Isn't this kind of a big deal? There's a couple of thousand of his money spent on his parents, not even including the bills. And that certainly doesn't make it sound like they're preparing him, in my opinion. We both have no clue about how to really handle money. I'm sure this is glaringly obvious. Oh, yes, it is. But I'm going to tell you what. You got a boyfriend of 3 years who gives all his money to his parents. I'm trying to understand why you're continuing to date this man. There's no future for you here. He can't. What can he do for you? He can't even do nothing for himself. He's doing everything for his parents. And he claims only one of them gets SSI. I so doubt that. He's basically supporting them, right? He buys the house groceries and his own food. And it could be, that he didn't really lie, that he was saving, and then something happened and he had to give the money, spend the money, or give the money to his parents. And so now he has no savings. That doesn't mean that he always had no savings. You kind of making a leap there that's not really true. you're jumping to a conclusion that is not in evidence. Because like it could have been very well that he was saving that kind of money and his parents found out. And so now he has to give it to them. Right. The main thing is he's just a boyfriend. He's not your husband. You have no influence or control over what he does with his money, with his parents in their house. It's not your business. The only way it's your business is if your guys are supposed to do something together and he can't hold up his end of the bargain because he done gave all his money to his parents. Well, then, yeah, now you have something to talk about. But other than that, there's nothing for you to say here because it's not your concern. Okay? You're outside of your envelope. Get back in it. Question number 19. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group, male in the same age group, and they are from Canada. Summary of issue. I need help confronting my boyfriend who cheated on me with the same sex. Okay. I recently found out that my boyfriend has been cheating on me with men. I'm ready to walk away because I can't stay with someone who cheats. But how do I confront him and tell him that I know he's been getting his by men and continues to look for that shit? I thought of all the possible ways to approach him about it, but I need help since I tend to come off very defensive. I just don't want to be with the person who for one cheats and continues to do it, and for two, I can't be with someone if they're happier with the opposite sex. I feel so trapped because, frankly, I'm embarrassed to let anyone close to me know that this is going on. I feel so alone in all this. Ever since I found out about his infidelity, I don't sleep. My anxiety is sky high, and I can't think straight. I guess aside from seeking help on how to approach the situation, I'm also looking for reassurance that I'm not wrong for wanting to walk away or for feeling the way that I do. No, you're not wrong. And why would you think that somebody would think that you're wrong for wanting to not be with a man who lied to you about being straight and now he's all kinds of twisted and bent? I'm gonna tell you what. Once you found out that he was cheating with men, you were supposed to leave him that day. You don't need to confront him. What you gonna confront him for? I don't understand why you girls want to waste your energy in doing stuff like that. You don't confront a man when he's doing some stuff like that. You pack your shit and you leave him. And then he'll be like, oh, I noticed all your stuff was gone. What happened? Oh, I left you. I'm gone. Because you like to diddle daddle, with dudes, and I'm just not about that life. So, yeah, it was been nice knowing you. Wish you well. Eat shit and die. Ta-ta. And that's it. It's over. Just like that. All this angst that you putting into it. I mean, I know it's upsetting and shocking and all this kind of stuff. But, to me, it doesn't matter that it was with a man. The fact is he cheated. So whether it was a man, a cow, a dog, a Martian, that part to me is irrelevant. The issue is he's not the man that he presented himself to be, and he's not the partner that he lied to you and told that he was going to be. That's all you need to focus on. You going into all this other minutia and, talking about stuff. And the third thing I want to say is, you said that you're embarrassed to let people know that what's going on. You don't tell anybody that. Why would you go running around telling people your business like that? Shut your damn mouth. It's none of their concern why you leave him. You just tell them, some shit came up and, we split up, and that's just it. And don't ask me any questions. And that's all you have to say. Shut it down. If people get nosy, say, didn't I tell you not to ask me any questions? That's what I meant. And then you check them again, and I'm sure they'll be like, oh, okay, well, dang, all right. And then they'll leave you alone because it's none of their fucking business why you don't want to be with somebody. I mean, most women usually will tell, but you don't have to. I never did. I tell you guys now, but you know how many years ago that was? I'm not going to the people that was in my circle and stuff that knew, the new dude and stuff like that. They never knew the details. I'm not telling them the details because that's my business. They don't need to know what transpired in my life like that. It's not their business. And more of you need to understand that. Yeah, you don't need to explain and tell people all them gory details about your life. I'm like, bitch, don't be asking me no questions about what went on in my relationship. It's none of your fucking business. And if I wanted you to know, I would have told you. Well, damn, Deb, you don't have to be like that. Obviously, I do. Because you don't know when to shut up and stop trying to put your big nose in people's business. Question number 20. This is a young lady in the 22 to 27 age group from the U.S. Summary of issue. How do I stop having feelings for every man I meet, even when I'm not that interested in them? Oh, I sure wish I had some wine. I'm 25 and somewhat of a nomadic person and have lived in small communities where the pool of potential available men is small, often one or two people. I've never been in a relationship, had a fling, or even a talking to stage. Once I arrive in these new places, I develop a group of friends and inevitably develop feelings for someone. Logically, I know that we would never work out and that they don't match me, but I just can't shake the feelings. I don't want to be in a relationship with them or date them either, but I can't stop thinking about them. It's like these men could be interchangeable with anyone, and it's not them, it's just the circumstance. My feelings get hurt once they start dating someone else, most likely because it's a blow to my ego. But my question is, how do I stop feeling like this from the beginning? It deeply bothers me that I'm like this, but it's just like I'm grasping at straws to find someone, even now, knowing I truly don't want to date someone at the moment. I hope this makes sense, and please don't rip me apart. It doesn't make any sense at all to me. I don't know what you're talking about. Sound to me like you're just lonely and living in a fantasy world of where you have a relationship, and just like that dude that we've talked about earlier, who's talking about he's almost 40 and looking for love, and I said that he's really afraid of intimacy and relationships. So they create this, he creates this perfection dream and stuff. But as soon as an opportunity presents itself for some reality to come, they run away. And that's the same thing you do. And you don't just run away, you pack up and leave the whole city. Your ass is like living a quote nomadic lifestyle. You going on across the country and some shit to get away from people. So you two are two of the same kind of people. You don't really want a relationship. That's why you've never been in one. You've never even had a fling. He evidently did, but not to any serious point. So you guys are just alike. Both of you need some therapy. Because being vulnerable and being able to be intimate with somebody like that requires that you have the courage to let your walls down. You don't feel that it's safe, so you don't. So you never will connect with anybody. That's what's going on with you, chick. Question number 21. This is a female in the 18 to 21 age group from the U.S. Summary of issue. How can I, as a woman of color, feel beautiful in a community that holds white women as the standard of beauty? Okay, here we go. I'm an 18-year-old female, and I've grown up in the suburbs of a state in the Midwest. Basically, everyone is white, and if they're not white, they still see white as the beauty standard. I've gotten used to this as a societal norm, but I haven't fully understood what it's done to my own perception of beauty until a year or so ago. I've never had a boyfriend or done much romantically, and I secretly think it comes down to my race. I don't want to dismiss that my personality could be shit, but where I live, white girls with blonde hair and blue eyes is the standard. Guys of all races go after the white girls. And if someone is dating a woman of color, it's almost always due to a fetish. And if it's not, people look at the couple weirdly. I remember being in middle school and wishing I had paler skin and wider eyes to fit in with everyone and to be seen as beautiful. Really interesting. Obviously, my mindset has changed now because fuck the biases, but at the same time, it's still so hard to view myself as pretty. I don't think that I'm unattractive. I'm just not white. I hate that white girls in my community just go around never having to worry about whether a guy is interested in their specific race. That they see people who look the same as them everywhere, and they aren't distinctly highlighted as beautiful for their race. They're just pretty. Wow, you got some issues. I talked to another woman of color about this, and she said that I had to get out of the environment that I'm living in and that I will be so much better. But I also hate how I have to be the one to change where I'm living. I hate that I'm the one who has to get up and move when a society's fucked up situation that will keep making girls like me feel unworthy and unwanted. I don't know how to get out of this mindset. I'm going to college in a big city in the fall, but I'm afraid that my feelings of ugliness and general low self-esteem will follow me through life, even though I'm in a place much more diverse. That I will always see white as a beauty standard, even when I keep telling myself attractiveness isn't based off of a certain race or features. Any advice would be helpful. It's hard to share my experience because I find a lot of people I know have never gone through this because they are white. I'm just so sick of always being second best based on the sole premise of my race. It's draining and exhausting and it makes me feel awful. I'm going to say this. Yeah, it is sad. It's sad because you're talking about everybody else holding the standard of white as the beauty. So do you. You sit there and beat yourself up, and and I'm gonna get to your solution, but first I have to tell you about yourself because this is unacceptable. This thing where you sitting there and you're comparing yourself to other people that you don't even fucking know, and you putting yourself down and making yourself look like you're second best. Please explain to me why white girls be going around getting lip injections. Please tell me why white girls go and get butt implants. Why do white girls go and get tans and, in the tanning booths and stuff to get brown? Why do white girls get cornrows and go around with beads and shit in their hair and trying to act like they black? Why do they do that? You know why? Because they appreciate your beauty and you don't even appreciate your own. You think because some man goes after you to try to fuck you that's a point. That means something, that makes you better than other women. You don't understand what it means to be a sex object, and which is all those young girls are. They are so sick of that kind of shit because I talk to them too. They don't like it. They know that that's what it is, but they don't like it. Whereas you sitting there looking at it like it's something desirable to be, looked at as a fetish, as some kind of trophy or something. And they're not really looking at you as a woman. They're looking at you as an accomplishment. A notch on their belt. Young lady, there is so much wrong with your perception here. I could talk to you about this for hours. But the main thing you need to understand is every woman has beauty. Every place you go on this planet, women are going to look different. Everybody is beautiful, no matter what their skin color, what their hair texture, what language they speak, what their nose and mouth looks like. Women come in every different kind of shape, color, size, height, weight, everything. And they're all beautiful in different ways. Different, it does not mean better. Different does not mean worse. It's just different. Like ice cream. Some people like strawberry ice cream. Some people like Rocky Road ice cream. Some people like chocolate ice cream. Some people like vanilla, Dutch vanilla, whatever. I mean, there's so many different flavors. People like different things. Does that mean that one is better than the other? No, it only means one is better to that person because that's their flavor that they like. You're looking at, well, I want to be the flavor that everybody likes. Do you think every man likes white women? No. So a lot of white men don't even like white men. That's why they date women of color. So your friend is right about you broadening your horizons. Right now, you in a little pond in whatever place you in the Midwest, some country ass place. And to you, that represents the whole world. The world is a big place. A big place, and you need to get out in it. Once you get out and you get in university, you will see what I'm talking about. There's going to be people there from all over the world, and very few of them are going to be focused on the white girls. Okay? Some, but they're going to be just as focused on you. They're going to be focused on the Asian girls. That's just the way it is. Men like different things. You just happen to be in a spot where the men like white girls, but that's what they see. Don't worry about that. Wait till you leave and then you go do you. The other thing is that you need to understand too is you say, well, I've never had a date, I've never had a boyfriend or whatever. That's the case with a majority of young black women, even when those that grew up in black neighborhoods. You know why? Because their parents ain't letting them get with none of these little knucklehead, raggedy ass little monkey little boys. So they're not going nowhere. They go off to college and they are, focused on their books and stuff like that. So when you get there, you're going to find a whole bunch of black girls who have never had a boyfriend and stuff like that. That's very common, extremely common. But I want you to spend some time on this channel before you do that, because what you need to do is when you go in that environment, you're going to be so excited about somebody paying some attention to you and thinking you're pretty, you're going to act a fool. I can tell because you're too hungry for it. Get your mind right so that when they start trying to, scope you out and hit you with some game, you will understand what time it is and you'll be able to turn it down and be selective. Just because somebody, because they say all attention ain't good attention. But your little ass is so starved for attention, you just gonna be a fool. Running off with the first thing, first guy tells you you're pretty, you're gonna be losing your damn mind and shit. Get it together. Listen to all the videos on this channel about boundaries, the games men play, narcissists, and how to conduct yourself like a queen. Okay, that's one relatively recent video. That's what you need to do. I'm just like, yeah, see, and then I got, and I have this guy at the little place where I'm working, and he has that curly, he's Latino. He has that curly, dark, thick ass, wavy hair, and all the women of all the different women of every race just be looking at him with hate in their eyes because everybody wants his hair, and it's sitting up there on his ass, and he just wasting it. That pretty hair on his head for just being wasted. And I'm like, and he be putting it in a ponytail and just acting like he's so cute and stuff, and we all hate on him. We all hate on him big time. So this is the kind of thing you're putting far too much emphasis on worrying about what white girls look like. Or white girls trying to look like you. That's why they be in the gym trying to build up their butts and all this old stuff here. And getting your lips plumped up and cheek implants and stuff like that. They want to have what you got naturally. Okay? Stop this. Yes, some super long lashes. So he got both. He got the super long dark eyelashes, big pretty eyes, and that dark wavy hair. He got the trifecta. And I'm like, this motherfucker is pretty. I just hating on his ass and totally. Yeah, you know what I mean? So I mean, there's this, but to me, all women have something that's beautiful about them. I can't really hate on anybody, and I've never been jealous of another woman or not. I mean, no matter what, I'm not gonna be jealous of you. Why would I be jealous of you? As fantabulous as I am. And I've always thought this about myself. So, you need to think that about yourself. Stop picking yourself apart and comparing yourself to other people. This is a sign of some extremely low self-esteem. And it's not that anybody is attacking you or doing this to you. You're doing it to yourself. You're the one feeding all these negative messages to yourself. You need to stop. Question number 22. You're almost near the end. Oh my God, these people are wearing me out. Summary issue. I think I'm too sensitive because I cry if someone raises their voice to me. Oh God. Cry baby ass bitch. Okay, I am a very sensitive person. I easily cry if someone raises their voice at me or yells at me or is just harsh with me, even if they have my best interests at heart. I know I cannot always expect to be met with a sweet tone, so I'm trying to learn how to not get so immediately flustered when someone is rude, angry, or yelling at me. I only like to surround myself with people who are soft, but then I think, is that okay? What I need is the brutal honesty from time to time. No, what if I need brutal honesty from time to time? How do you suggest I deal with this? That you grow up, that you do work on your developing some maturity, because you sitting up there with your ass being grown. Let's see, how old are you now? You're in the 22 to 27 age group now. So by the time you hit 30, if you're still acting like this, do you know how people will view you with such distaste, such disdain, disgust, dismay, disrespect? Because you'll be a big fucking crybaby and nobody's gonna want to be bothered with you. When you go into a work environment, you got to be able to roll with the punches. So you do something that somebody's yelling at you about or whatever, then because you did some fucked up shit, you did something you should have done, or you didn't do what you're supposed to do, right? So you get checked. Your boss comes and says, hey, blah, blah, blah. And what you don't do, you're gonna bust out and start crying. That's not gonna go over too well. What you need to do is be a grown woman and say, well, yeah, I did that. I made a mistake. I'm very sorry. Whatever. But what can I do to fix it? Let's move forward from this. I always do that. I admit that I made a mistake, but so what, you gonna sit here and harp on a mistake, or we gonna move forward and fix it? Which one do you want? Because if you just want to harp on it, I'll sit here and cross my legs and you just have at it while I play with my phone. And then when you get done, then we'll start working on a solution. But if you just, we want to get it fixed and we hit the ground running, let's go. That's how you have to manage up, when you're in these jobs. You got to manage up just like you manage down. Yeah, but she just, them crybaby ass bitches. See, that just don't work for me. That pisses me off, and then it makes me want to see you cry. So then I start looking for things to say to you to make you cry, just because I can see you cry. It's like, ooh, look at them big old crocodile tears she crying over there in the corner. All in her face is red. Her makeup done smeared. Ooh, her nose is snotty. That's gross. Yeah, but when you present yourself as weak like that, certain people are going to see that and they're going to pounce because that's what we do. Question number 23. This is a female in the 20 to 34 age group. Summary of issue. I'm trying to get over love triangle and I need some advice. I split up with someone last year when I found out that he was in another relationship with a woman 20 years older than him. He was dating us both at the same time. We were together for nearly 2 years, and neither her nor me suspected a thing. Dude must be good. He putting down that pipe. That's what happened, did. Turns out he has done this to her before. They've been together for 9 years. She took him back again on this occasion. Of course she did. I'm so angry about it all. Part of my anger stems from the fact that they are behaving like everything is brilliant and happy days when he has really hurt someone else, me. The other part is that her taking him back means that someone else will get hurt in the future. And he was awfully abusive to me. It doesn't make sense why he was so abusive and jealous towards me when he had her anyway. Why abuse me? I feel like I pulled the short end of the straw being abused and cheated on, and yet he gets away with it all with zero repercussions. Okay, so you was together with him for nearly 2 years. Okay, let me continue. Oh, that's it? Okay, so what you want me to do? What you want me to do because you chose to be stupid and stay in a relationship where you was getting abused for 2 years? I could see if it happened once, and that was when you guys broke up. But oh no, he was abusing me. And then you stayed in the relationship though. So basically, by you staying in the relationship, you didn't have no kids, you was working, there's no reason for you to be stuck there. It wasn't an economic situation. You can't speak the language. He got you trapped in the house. I mean, it was no special circumstance like that. You fully capable of walking out the door anytime you chose to and on to your shiny new life, but you didn't do that. You stayed in a situation where you were being abused, and which means you chose to stay there and be abused, which means that you liked it. Otherwise, you would have left, right? And now you want to come crying and playing the victim role. I'm not going to go for that shit. You chose this lifestyle. The only reason that it ends is now, and he probably will come over and tip back in there with you again because you don't really sound too. There's not really much conviction here. You still wondering about stuff, and he gets away with zero repercussions. What repercussions would you want him to have? He's single. He can do that. He wasn't your man. You didn't live with him. He wasn't your baby daddy. He wasn't your fiance, and he was not your husband. Just some clown you was kicking it with. Now the fact, obviously, he was doing something right enough to keep you both appeased. I don't know how he was working at, but dude was masterful. He must have his lie game on point. I just can't. I don't know what else to say. Just be like, people make poor decisions, and then I think they right here. Do they confuse me with somebody else to think that they're going to get sympathy in their handheld after they do some dumb shit? Question number 24. We got 25 questions, so we're on our way to the end here. If you want to, if you want to submit your question, where's my little banner here? Dang, I got too much going on. Okay, here it is, right here. This is how you submit your question. What you do is you navigate over to Debsterism.com, and you fill out the form, and it'll tell you, how to get advice. And you just fill out the form, put your question there, and press the little button that says send, and then it will send it to me, and we can, when it comes to the inbox, and then Candace will look at it and decide if it's good enough to be on the show. Now, this show will be either Saturday or Sunday. This is the one I made for Saturday, but I may have to change the date depending on how you guys voted. But we will have a show this weekend on either Saturday or Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific time. And this is what we're going to be doing. It's a girlfriends talk, audience participation. You bring your topic, what you want to ask me about, what you want us to talk about, or if it's a link to an article or something that happened in the news that you want to talk about, get my thoughts on or whatever. email your link to survivingdating@gmail.com. Survivingdating@gmail.com. Just send it over and then I'll have it and I can have time to read it, before the show. So make sure you hit the subscription button so that you get an instant notification so you can figure out, is it going to be Saturday? Is it going to be Sunday? I don't know. We'll figure that out in a minute. So let's do question number 24. Young lady in the 22 to 27 age group, the young man same. Summary of issue. My boyfriend wants to go to a gay sauna. And I don't know how to accept sharing him with other people. Wow. My boyfriend and I are both 22 and have been in a relationship since September of 22, and everything is going well. But he came out to me as bi, I would say 2 to 3 months into our relationship. And I have always told him since then that he was fine the way that he was. I used to go to the gay sauna before we met. He used to go to the gay sauna before we met. And I told him that he could go back when I was ready because he really liked it. Wow. He always told me that I could wait and that I didn't need to rush into agreeing to share him. But tonight he went out with some friends and they had some booze and he confessed that he really missed it and couldn't live without it. He had always told me that he could do without it, but he lied to me. He's also sure that he can't feel love towards me and he just likes gay nook a lot. My problem is that I'm having a hard time dealing with the fact that I have to share him with other people. I'm afraid that I'll be disgusted with him and won't want to be physically close to him after he goes to the sauna. I don't want to share him. Since leaving him is far from being an option, I need help to accept the situation because I don't want to deprive him of something that he enjoys. But having to share him with other people hurts me so much. It's like a fire is burning in my chest. Thanks for helping me. I can't help you. I cannot help you because you are determined to stay in the situation with your chest burning. So you know what that means? That means that you just gonna stay there until you feel better. I don't know what to tell you, girlfriend. That's gonna be you and your red wagon. I can't do anything with this. It's gonna be the thing that you either stay with the man who likes to dick around with other men or you don't. And only you can make that decision. There's nothing, no insight, no magic wand. There's nothing I can do for you to help you do this. It's just a matter of you recognizing the fact that this is not going to be a good situation for you emotionally, and then you take good care of yourself. The more you stay in that means you're not taking care of yourself. But only you can make the decision about when it's time to leave. I can't do that. And our final letter of this evening is letter number 25. It's a young lady in the 28 to 34 age group from the UK. Summary of issue. Is he into me or am I delusional? I have knew this guy for a few years now. He works at a bar that I frequented at least once a week. Sometimes it's just me and him and we have deep conversations. At some point, I guess we got on the subject of candy we like, and I told him a couple of types that I enjoy. This was probably around Christmas of last year. Well, one day I went into the bar and he had this big thing planned and I pretty much fell for it and he got me good. It was an inside joke, but he made an effort to do it just for me to laugh. I got ready to leave that day and he called me to the counter and he handed me the candy I liked and I looked at him and I said, "What is this?" And he said, "You said it was your favorite." I was surprised and I thanked him. And I told him that I loved it, that he did it for me. I was just wondering if maybe he likes me as more than a friend. Or am I reading too much into this? He will not come out and pursue me in a straightforward manner. I don't want to act on it because I don't want to ruin what we have and make it awkward by assuming that I really like him and I want to explore this more. We are now social media friends and he doesn't really like my stuff. He did at first, but then he stopped. I am married, but he knows my husband is gone a lot for career purposes. I just feel confused about it all, even having feelings for him and liking him as more than a friend. As of recently, I was at the bar and it was him and he made an effort to talk to me and we have an extremely deep conversation, talking about our childhoods and emotional topics and things that you wouldn't just share with anyone. He really opened up to me. What do you think of all this? I think you're getting set up because you really gonna tap that ass while your husband is gone. That's what's gonna happen. And then you're going to be sitting up there thinking that you in love because somebody talked to you and did a little trick for you and made you laugh. You poor little thing. You so lonely and it's sad. Some people do well with husbands that work away a lot because they have a lot going on. But you obviously don't, because you got way too much time to go spend time at a bar chatting up the bartender. Do you not know that some of the best bartenders are people that will make you feel like they're your best friends, that they understand your soul, your heart, everything that motivates you, all your pain? You know why they are good at that? Because it gets them big tips and it gets them repeat customers. And when they build up the business, they usually can work it out so they get a commission. If it's over a certain dollar amount sold, they get, a cut of it. So that's why bartenders who are really good make a lot of money, and they know everybody at the bar by name. They know your drinks and they chat you up. That's why they do that. I mean, it might be, some of it's because they're friendly people too, but it's a skill that not everyone has. And really good bartenders make so much money, it's ridiculous. And they have a steady crowd of people that will come to that bar or to that restaurant bar to talk to them because they enjoy interacting with them so much. That's how you build your business. So that's what he's doing. And he's latched onto you as a lonely married woman who has nothing better to do than hang around at a bar by herself, chatting up the bartender. You're on risky ground here, chick, because I could tell you don't have enough game to handle dude. You actually thinking that he likes you and that is, some romantic feelings and all this kind of stuff. This is a situation where you're going to, he might like you like for that, but he ain't trying to be with you like your man or nothing. Please understand that a guy sees you as a married woman, know you got a man, know you took vows, you married, all those stuff here, and you try to tip out and creep with him. Please don't think that he's going to respect you at all. I know a lot of women think, well, this is the modern ages. Women can do what they want to. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can when you're single. But once you get married and then you start trying to creep on your husband and he knows you a garden tool, please understand that there ain't going to be shit happening there. Even if you do get a divorce and he's the kind who's a garden tool and y'all was both cheating and both of y'all was garden tools and y'all get together, there's going to be so much distrust in that marriage that those marriages usually don't last. Because you both know, well, if you would cheat on your husband or wife, then you would cheat on me too. So there's always this suspicion, always the side idea, always the unsureness. And your marriages rarely, if ever, work out. I've never heard of one, but I'm sure there probably is somewhere on this planet. That's what you're looking at, chick. So that's all I have to say on the advice show today. Thank you very much for coming through, everybody. Like I said, I'm going to go back. And if you just got here and you missed the beginning of the show, what we were doing was trying to figure out if I should do a show on Saturday or Sunday. So if you haven't already placed your vote, please enter it into the chat room now. Just say, what works best for your schedule, Saturday at 4 or Sunday at 4. Because normally we do those girl night out shows on Friday. We get our wine and everybody bring their drink and we cross our legs and we just sit here and just act a fool. But tomorrow is Cinco de Mayo. And here in the Bay Area, that is like a national holiday for everybody. Everybody be out there just going crazy. Don't matter. You don't have to have even know how to spell Spanish, but you be out there because it's a good time and everybody's happy. And, this will be the first time we'll be able to do anything like that in 3 years because of COVID. So yeah, it's gonna be on like Donkey Kong, and I want to be a part of it. So it's looking like it's gonna be Sunday from what I remember. Shut up, Mary Elizabeth. It's gonna be fun. So I will take the tally whether Saturday or Sunday, and then I'll see you guys. So be sure to hit the subscription button, hit the instant notification bell so you don't miss it. Okay, because I need you to be here. It's an audience participation show. If you ain't here, ain't no show. Because I don't come with the topic. This is your show. Okay. See you guys later. Okay. I'll see you guys on the weekend. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.